Mrs. Right, that's right.
Welcome to the Mrs. Right podcast. My name is Bronte Bennett. I am the author of The Squire, which you see behind me, and I'm also your host for the Mrs. Right podcast. I thought I'd start with a quick introduction to me. By day, I am a business owner and deliver coaching and training across multiple sectors and across all levels all over the world. That job has given me a real insight into human behaviour. And I've met so many amazing and interesting people. So the person you're meeting today is the author, Bronte Bennett. And taking all of that knowledge and experience over the years of travelling and working with multiple cultures and lots of different kinds of people has given me so much material to work into the stories that I write. So often people say to me, are any of your characters based on real people? And the honest answer would be, not really, but they are based on real characteristics of real people. So whilst I'm not replicating a specific human being in any of my stories, there are certainly characteristics in all of my main characters and all of my side characters and all of the storylines which come from experience and from life. And the reason I finally managed to finish a book, because I've started a lot of books over the years, is having been inspired by the author Lee Child. I believe I have one of his books right behind me too, when he delivered a course on BBC Maestro. And he said a couple of things that really struck a chord for me and made the difference. The first was, you're never too old to write a book. In fact, the older you are, the more material you've got to weave into your stories. And the second was, just write the damn book. This was the thing that made the biggest difference for me. Your first draft is not your book. It is just your first draft. He said, don't keep going back over the words that you've written and rewriting and editing. Just get the story on the page. And only once the story is on the page should you start to go back over it and edit it. The second piece of advice that I got, which was absolute gold, was from another author who said, pay for a professional developmental editor. You will not regret it. And I did not. I got myself a professional developmental editor. She was amazing. She read my book. She helped me to craft it into something much more commercially viable, much more readable, much more engaging, much more not put downable. She was worth every penny. And the next piece of advice that I want to share with you was, pay for a proper professional book cover. Makes the biggest difference. I can always tell when a book's been generated with AI, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but when you can see an AI book cover compared with one that's been created by an artist who specialises in that, you see the difference. So if there were two things I was going to fork out for, it was a developmental editor and a book cover designer. And you'll have gathered from that I am what we now call an indie author, independently published. That isn't the same as going to a hybrid or vanity publisher, which is one of those publishers that will ask you to pay to do the work and to publish your book. Rather, it's a much more DIY approach, so you get individuals involved. You need to use beta readers to make sure that your story flows for your readership and to identify any line editing that might need to be done. You may even want to pay for a line editor as well. I used my beta readers. I've got great people in my network who were able to read my book and give me lots of advice about how to edit it so that it was good. And the next thing I did was get it onto Kindle, because you can change your Kindle edition really, really easily. And in 24 to 48 hours, your updated version becomes available, which makes it accessible to more people without you having to post printed copies out for people to read. So that was the next thing I did. So first I made it available on Kindle, and the only people who knew it was there were my friends and my beta readers. They read it, they gave me feedback, and only then, when I was absolutely sure that it was as good as it could possibly be, did I send it out for print. And I tell you what, if you're an aspiring author, One of the greatest days of your life will be the day the box of books arrives at your door and you open that box and you hold your book in your hand for the first time. It took me 3 years to go from the first word I typed to holding my book in my hand. And it was a labour of love because I run a business. I have to keep the lights on and do a day job as well. And so I wasn't able to write full time. I was writing when I could. But it is just such a satisfying experience. Whether you are a writer, an aspiring writer, or simply an avid bookworm, I hope you're going to enjoy the episodes that I'll share with you on the Mrs. Wright podcast. We're going to be talking to authors from all over the world, from every possible genre, and fiction and non-fiction. We're talking to indie authors and we're talking to those who've been traditionally published. We're talking to names that you will have heard of and we're talking to people you haven't heard of yet, but they could be your next favourite author. My book, The Squire, is a racy romantic romp through the English countryside, very much in the mould of Jilly Cooper, Mills and Boon. You might even say it's a modern Pride and Prejudice. And I thoroughly enjoyed crafting this new world and the people that live in it. And so the next book, The Heiress, is currently underway, and I'll let you know how progress goes with that one. And then there's a third book as well, which is the prequel, which is called The Orphan. So that trilogy I hope to have out in the marketplace in full as 3 books within the next couple of years. But for now, if you'd like to see what my writing is all about and maybe fill the gap left by rivals or by Pride and Prejudice, Jilly Cooper or Mills and Boon, why not pick up The Squire and have a read? Let me know what you think. And please follow along with the Mrs. Wright podcast, where you may find your next big love in terms of authors. Thank you, and I look forward to taking you on this journey with me. Bye for now.